This call is
What's
being
up,
recorded.
Zilla?
I'm great, man. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah,
I
you're
hope
fine. That was the best waiting experience I've ever had on a call. That was a banger right there. I don't know if you're aware
that's
of the song.
that's one of my favorite songs. It's funny, like people either like hate it, like a few people hate it, but then some people like it. I love it. I think it's amazing. I couldn't believe
I
it.
was going there. I was like, "Hey, I'll be all here all day. I don't mind."
Sometimes I just sing along. It's just hard not to.
Right, right.
Right. So nice. I'm glad you got this. I completely forgot you were born 99 and you're a super alien god. That's amazing. I must have said this the first time we spoke too. So this is going to be fun. This is going to be super fun. Especially because you got the transit forecast, which is easily becoming one of my favorite readings because these transits are insane, wild. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff in your chart to look forward to. A Jupiter return, you're completing an eighth house transit. I've always felt that eighth house transits um are, spiritual warfare and probably the most difficult house transit to go through. So for you to complete that eventually with Saturn is cool. I want to note that from our generation to your generation, I feel like there's certain things that younger generations and period dismiss that older generations can kind of see into and vice versa. So it may be more of a joke or in jest, like you're very gifted, you have supernatural abilities. But it may be a joke when I say you're a super alien god, but it's going to be real, lurer than ever, this year and
Hmm.
next year, because we are stepping into the threshold of the new gen, right? Pluto Sag is starting with Saturn Aries, coming into their Saturn returns. That's what the new Jupiter cycle represents. Jupiter going into Aries as soon as May is going to be in the same sign as your Saturn, and we'll go over your MC. So it's going to begin to evolve your legacy, your karma. Your karma is going to evolve first, and then Saturn will return. That's gangster, okay? But other than that, um, what's very key here, and I'm saying that's gangster because it doesn't work that way for everybody. Like I would say, 2010, uh, Saturn was ahead of Jupiter. So for some people, Saturn returned and then Jupiter evolved it. But other than that, what's key here is that personally, my friend, we are in Aquarius season. So it's going to be your birthday really soon. Happy early birthday. I hope you enjoy
Thank you.
it. Oh yeah. The first question I want to ask, or what I'm going to say first is, in a year from now, we'll be back here in Aquarius season. In a year from now, Saturn is going to get ready to go into Pisces. Let's just say in another 3 months, because it's going to go into Pisces in March. Uh, Pluto's going to be in Aquarius in March. But basically, in another year from now, in Aquarius season, uh, which is quite ironic, by the way, my North Node is 8 degrees Aquarius, and that's where the sun is today. So that's kind of interesting. But in another year from now, Pluto's going to be 28 degrees ready to go into Aquarius by March. Saturn's going to be 25 degrees ready to go into Pisces by March. And then we're going to see Jupiter officially starting its cycle in Aries after it retrograded back into Pisces. We're going to see Uranus next to the North Node, 8 degrees, 14 degrees in Taurus. So this is going to bring the conclusion of Saturn going through your eighth. Pluto's going to get ready to come into your sign, even if to just flirt with your Neptune. And the key distinction here is over the next year, my friend, you are coming into your rising star year. Last year was my rising star year as a Gemini sun because Jupiter was ninth house and it went through a portion of my ninth house region. So 2020 and 2021 were my individual and personal rising star years. Of course, what happened for me was I saw a significant increase in my follower count in Instagram, the success I'm gaining in my business, and just me being
Yeah, that's when I found you too. So that's ironic.
It is ironic because it was about me being more known because mine's an Aquarius and you're an Aquarius, you have your Sun Aquarius, which is lit. And everyone born 99, 71, 62, we all have like the North Node Leo Aqua transit axis. So we've all been in each other's past lives and we're going to meet each other in future lives, or however you want to kind of perceive that. But, it's very key because now Jupiter going through Pisces is your rising star year. Jupiter and Leo, in a sense, was your rising star year as Aquarius sun, but specifically as a Cancer rising, this is ascending your philosophy. It's bringing you out of the darkness of the eighth house into the light of divinity in Pisces, and you're going to experience mutable sign, evolution, and literal ascension. You're ascending to the next level. And this is very cool because your Jupiter is here. So in a year from now, we're going to finish this ninth house transit. It's going to retrograde back into the ninth after from May to October of this year, going into your 10th a bit. And then by next year, you'll be starting your 10th house transit. Why is this important? The next couple of years is solidifying your success at such a young age where you will be taking action to actually manifest the results of your legacy as an MC in Aries who was born with an individual sense of legacy. I kind of want to emphasize once again how important this is because this goes into how realistically you're in a position to powerfully own your brand, be your brand. And this is the analogy I love to use. MC in Aries is Alex's coffee shop. MC in Capricorn is being the CEO of Starbucks. And so the CEO of Starbucks, yeah, they represent a much more, you know, influential corporation, but that CEO has to abide by the rules of that company. Whereas you set your rules as Alex Coffee Shop because your identity is the brand. So I wouldn't say one is better than the other, but Aries definitely allows more autonomy as well as, aligning more. This is the reason why I love or really respect Aries MC is this is the self-defined individual success, where success not only comes on your terms, but you also have Saturn here. Oh, it's a wrap. Saturn is best in the 10th house. And this is literally like Napoleon crowning himself king, in the sense where, even though Napoleon was Leo, right? In a sense where personally, when Saturn is in the 10th, Saturn is positions of authority. And so in the house of accomplishments and success, you're attaining the highest honors of success attached to your legacy. Where in Aries, this is not like you being honored, right? 10th house Capricorn will be like coming into the Hall of Fame where everyone has acknowledged you as like, okay, our corporation has seen that you're in the annals of the greats, right? But 10th house Aries is you do it yourself. You're the one who makes that level of authority. And it's like you're the emperor here. It's like you created this high level position from your lifestyle that made you and put you in this position. So it's like being a super entrepreneur and self-employed. It doesn't mean you can't be employed with this, but like being self-employed and coming into high positions that you individually carved for yourself, as that cardinal path is the forward moving motion. And it's cool because your moon is in Libra, so you understand the opposite with the IC of the home space socially, or of how you feel home in social interactions versus the individual actions you take to define your career, which is not as simple as that, but just a cool way of seeing that. So that's something to keep in mind because everything you're going through clearly is preparing you for your Saturn return. So this 2022
Okay.
phase is a very crucial, pivotal phase in ascending the belief around what's possible. Because once Jupiter finishes ascending you to the next level, right? Especially in the ninth house, this could be a period where with Neptune, you're coming into some abstract higher education, whether through college, an online course, or just the experience of life, which is the most legendary teacher. It's probably going to be a bit of all of that, if not just the last one. And this is where that expertise is going to establish your authority when Jupiter goes into Aries. So I want to give you a visual of that. This year, you're going to change and ascend what you believe is possible. It's going to show you through miracles the next level. And then you're going to take the action in Aries to literally accomplish this next level. So you're going to see it and then you're going to do it. This is very important because as soon as Jupiter goes in May in your 11th house with the North Nodal eclipse in the house of rewards from careers, you're going to suddenly break through into a sneak peek of success. And the key of this ninth house Jupiter transit with Neptune involved is tapping into this collective whirlwind and washing machine of transcendence that's going to put you in a position to open up forever these divine beliefs, because Pisces is all about I believe. And oh my goodness, I've seen ninth house Pisces sun kind of like show the power of beliefs. And this is your Jupiter gift. It's going to really ascend the way you believe and think about your abilities and put you in a position to change situations so that by the time we're in May and Jupiter sneak peeks into Aries, you are already evolving and taking action to step into career opportunities that, which is so very important. The significance of Pisces before Aries, okay, Sagittarius before Cap, or any mutable sign before a cardinal sign, especially with you as an ascended celestial, right? Is that in Pisces ninth house, you're going to be ascending the perception around your beliefs of your philosophy and the success you want, so that once that direction and perception has been established, that's the direction you're going to act off on when it goes into Aries. And this is very important. Obviously, as an aqua, you already know, but let's say there's anything you're unclear about and don't know coming into the future. By the time we finish Aquarius season this season, and then by the time we finish Pisces season and start that new moon cycle, you will already know and see what to do to where, boom, you're doing it in Aries. And we're going to do that.
Yeah, that's really crazy because next week in the 7th, I'm going to be starting a marketing course through the university over here, the U of A, and that's going to be around like 2 months and whatnot. So the fact that you're like saying all that, and even though it's like already on its way, it's pretty crazy. That's like already confirmation.
You said at UNLV?
Repeat that. My bad. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, I thought you said you were taking a course at UNLV. At one moment, my bad, Rosa. Could you call back at 12:30?
Okay, that's fine.
No problem.
Bye.
Yeah, you said you were.
No, yeah, I was taking a marketing course at the U of A over here. It's the local, well, it's like the university over here in Tucson where I live.
Oh, Arizona. My bad. I thought you said of LV. I was like, I didn't know you were in Las Vegas, but that's cool. That's cool. Right.
Nah, soon though. But
dude,
yeah, I'm doing that, so that's pretty crazy. I was just confirming that.
And I needed to hear that because I'm still in researcher mode. So you just taught me a lot. And so, what course are you taking?
Marketing and marketing science. So basically, just building that foundation because I've been trying to get into marketing for a while, but I haven't. There's so much, I haven't really like delved into it, and maybe that's because the planets weren't aligned yet. So now things are kind of lining up for me where I'm starting this course, building a foundation, and just hopefully taking it off from there so I could become an entrepreneur and develop my own agency and systems and all that stuff.
And you're definitely on track to becoming an entrepreneur. I'm very grateful for what you said because I was asking to know the course because I wanted to see if it was of Piscean nature. Pisces ninth house is teaching divinity. It's abstract. It's making you aware of the metaphysical. So I love that it's a marketing science course because Pisces. A lot of people may not be aware Pisces is actually the highest level of science, just metaphysically. So I'd be interested if in your learning of this course, the way you're taught is maybe in some abstract metaversal way, maybe in a way that's just kind of like maybe everyone will kind of learn it differently, but the way you learn it is outside the box. You know what I'm saying? It might be more imaginative, so that'll be
Oh
interesting.
yeah, for sure.
Right. That's why I just wanted to know. I wanted to see what part of the chart kind of reflects that. Maybe the marketing science could also be Saturn and MC in the 10th too. So that would be very interesting. But just to kind of speak of the because you have a super eighth house, bro. Like I've never really seen an eighth house with the late 90s. So like the way you extract information without even trying from people, they may never know that you know beforehand that you know what you know. And that this knowledge is even beyond this realm. So this Aquarius season, now that Jupiter has spent a year evolving your boundaries, just to kind of emphasize, you have golden value. In fact, it's your destiny to manifest it, manifest destiny. The South Node, right? You come from the ancient future. The South Node, right, is you exploiting and taking advantage of and using investment channels through social media and advanced networks in order to add to your wealth because you got the gold, you got the creative value, right? Second house Leo is courage, it's energy though, it's luxury. And so if it was North Node 8 house, you're going to use what you have to invest in others. But it's North Node second house. So you're using the knowledge and you're finding people who trust you with their knowledge so that they can invest in what you have. And it's cool because your sun is in Aquarius. So you are aware and already know who you can trust with what you have and who can trust you with what they have. Does that resonate at all?
Oh yeah, for sure. I could always I always know when the vibe's wrong if I'm ever meeting somebody or making some sort of transaction like that.
Keyword vibe.
So yeah.
And
Yeah,
that
I read the vibe.
and eighth house is a very key part of marketing, especially with fifth, because now you're selling your talent and you're engaging in acquisition of clients and whatnot. But because we're in Aquarius season right now, the Capricorn season we just completed was a new moon cycle in your seventh house with Venus retrograde. So, this is post 2020 where you have definitively completed construction in your relationships, and Pluto is just kind of finishing the final touches. It's sextiling your Pluto. Venus was a retrograde here. Mars is now getting ready to catch up with it. And so over the next 2 to 3 weeks, you're going to be moving forward on all the lessons you've learned in your relationships. But this is 12th house to your Aqua Sun. And so it's releasing an old belief around the obligation and hidden enemies in your partnerships that take you away from being you because you have Uranus square your sun right now in the 11th. And so the North Nodal lesson, because another thing is in a year, the North Node will be farther into your 11th than ever. And the South Node has already unlocked Pluto and Chiron. So on its way to unlock Mars, now this is taking your pure talents, especially around marketing science, so that you can manifest a group or an audience that you market to. But it's really like taking your talents towards a group, kind of the way a basketball player would take their talents to be a part of a team. And this is what's going to manifest so much wealth for you because this is in the 11th house of rewards and careers. So normally during a period like this, you increase the social media following, you just increase the network that you have really. But because this is from Scorpio to Taurus, this is funneling pure resources to natural resources and energy, money. And what's even cooler here is that Uranus square here is now breaking you through the level of trust needed to manifest these unconventional collective wealth opportunities, investment channels, whether through real estate, crypto, stocks, and new things that'll surface as well. So I would say the next couple of months is pivotal because that's going to lead us into the new year astrologically. And so the new moon in Aquarius we're going to have beginning of next week is going to open the doorway to a new cycle of transformation relative to August of 2021 and what investment channels will open up that you can give your talented Leo second house and vice versa, open that pipeline. Because you have so much heavy eighth house energy here with the square to Uranus, this is going to challenge now with the nodes who your friends are, and moving forward into Aries, the knowledge of what boundaries you need to draw, who you can trust, and what you're going to do and how you're going to navigate this moving forward. And the reason why this is also super important is because personally, after this goes out of Aquarius, this is going to go into Pisces after that full moon in Leo. And relative to this Aquarius season right now, it's going to provide you with all the knowledge of this cycle that you don't have now, but with Jupiter in the ninth. So last year when we went through this, Jupiter was in your eighth in Aquarius. And February was that huge stellium, which evolved and opened the door towards transforming completely how you deal with people, but also how you evolve your supernatural, celestial, cosmic godhood. I hate to say it like that because that sounds so pretentious, but it's even way more strong than that. And now Saturn has been solidifying this in a way that Bitcoin has risen from like 20,000 to 50,000. But Saturn makes sure that the average doesn't fall back down to 20,000. It's been slowly but surely raising the average. And so this is what's slowly but surely strengthening your spirit at 15 degrees. It's literally on your sun right now, which is quite ironic. And this is definitely through karma strengthening the neural pathways that allow you to manifest now in Pisces the higher perception and philosophy of how to imagine now that you have based this knowledge and evolved this knowledge through Aquarius. We'll see this evidence through your marketing class because that's really the ninth house. We see expression through here, which I'm so glad it's playing out that way. This is really a good omen because you'll know that a lot of the luck you'll get will come through that class. But this is where now that you've drawn those boundaries and you've transformed a large part of your character, you're getting ready to rise to that light of divinity. So from March 2nd, where we have that new moon, Mars, Pluto, and Venus will be 27 degrees. Square your Saturn, mind you, in your seventh house. So there's going to be maybe an unexpected or outside influence in your partnerships that break you through in the success you gain in your career. This could be like meeting a business partner that helps you plan forward more your marketing firm, right? Or at least deciding on how you take action with the right people to lead into this. Because that new moon that we have with Mercury that's going to be on Saturn in your eighth is going to really change the game for you, especially surrounded around how you're going to, by September, take everything you've learned in that course and now master as a skill in your third house. And then also, which will complete the Jupiter cycle, and then also put you on the fast track course to applying everything you've learned in your career. And now that you've given me that context, that's kind of how I see this happening because we're going to have that new moon cycle in the ninth house. Boom. Then we go into Aries, and then you have your Jupiter return, Aries season. And this is going to give you, this is like starting that course. And now in Aries season, you're starting to see how to apply the subject matter of the course. And you're like, oh, I can do this with this, but you didn't finish the course yet. So you don't have all the experience, but you're already starting to see, okay, I can do this, I can do that. Boom. We step into Taurus season, which is important because Aries season, the new moon and the full moon is going to have you establish the new cycle of how you take action in your career, but relative to this evolving perspective and change of beliefs in it. Because once we step into Taurus season and we have that eclipse, boom, Jupiter's in Aries, and you're already going to start to take expanded action from May, June, July, August, and September towards your career, especially as Jupiter, because once Jupiter goes over the MC, that's career upgrade. That's career evolution. It's going to pass by it. It's going to retrograde by it, and then it's going to pass by it again. So you're getting hooked up. And the reason why I kind of want to hype this up is because as you are right now, there's certain opportunities and occurrences that by the time we step into May, April, May, you'll be more clear on what to do in ways you're not clear now. So, right, you're going to come into the knowledge now. You're going to experience the manifestation of that knowledge, which will change your beliefs around what's possible. Boom, you take that action Aries season. Boom, Jupiter comes in to evolve that action May. And by the time we step into Gemini season, everything you're drawing the boundaries for now, all the knowledge that's transforming your understanding now is going to transcend and release through Gemini, which will complete everything December of 2021, where you awakened and evolved this new lifestyle in Sagittarius to where with that South Node in Chiron, you're transcending old beliefs in your connection with the angels as a celestial, and to where this is no longer just abstract. Now Jupiter has come out of Pisces, and the quality with which you're integrating these metaphysical phenomena is now super real. And to make sense of that, Jupiter was, this is the first time we're finishing a Jupiter Neptune cycle that's going to evolve our capacity to even perceive the unseen. So last time Jupiter was here, Neptune was in Aquarius. Now when you call on the angels, you're seeing them. Like, it's not even a game. Like, it's even if you don't see them, you see them. And it's different for you as an Aquarius because you've always known they've existed. But like, it's the causality is so seamless. This is what's going to pimp your career. And so this is going to change your entire spiritual beliefs around what's even possible, as this is an octave of this Pisces season that's going to begin that process. By the time we step into Gemini, everything in your philosophy that, you know, Jupiter and Neptune and that new moon March 2nd starts, Gemini will be a checkpoint to completely release old thoughts now that you've seen a higher belief, and also integrate into your spirituality these new beliefs, which is basically like changing the way you think now that you've had 4 months of this course you're taking, because you're going to learn how to do certain techniques that now will make obsolete what you've been doing. Boom, we step into Cancer season, and everything you established last month during that new moon in your 7th is going to lead towards 6 months of relationship development. And the way to think of that is 1st to 6th house is personal development. 7th to 12th house is now with other people, taking that personal development and developing your outer world. And once you develop your outer world from the 7th to 12th house, what does that develop? Your identity. 7 months of actually being with other people will now develop how you see yourself coming into July. So the new moon cycle and the person, the incredible person that you were, which is the culmination of who you became July of 2021, then this Capricorn season, you're bringing that 6 months of personal development incredibly to other people. Now 6 months of Capricorn, Aqua, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, and releasing old thoughts is now bringing in a much more powerful, experienced individual, but now with Jupiter and Aries. So the way you're identifying is with initial career success. It's like last year when this was here, you were identifying with yourself relative to the boundaries you've drawn and how you've transformed. But now, since then, you have your own firm and $1 million. So the way you identify yourself is now as a successful firm owner. Kind of like that. It's just like an update. Let's say if you had any like relationships come through, because there is Venus that's coming through here. So let's say you get married, right? Well, by the time you've spent 6 months married and we come into July, now you're identifying yourself as a married man. Even if you did that beforehand, this is when we start that cycle of you with that. So that's just kind of way to see first house transits, other than your birthday, right? And then other than Aries. So you're the first personal new year is going to be on a February 4th, your birthday. Then we're going to have the official astrological year in April, and then you're going to have another personal new year, Cancer season, which isn't so much a personal new year as much as it is just like a first chapter, right? Or a first house cycle. So Leo season is now going to complete everything that's being established this Aquarius season. And before we go forward, I want to ask you about this Aquarius season because I want to see what it looks like for you. Because eighth house transits are very, they can be secretive or personal, they can be complex. Because now you're dealing with other people, even though this is your life signature. How are you feeling? You know what I'm saying? Like we're coming into this balsamic phase. The moon is coming out of Sagittarius. So I would imagine that you're receptive to your behavior and lifestyle and how that's going to enable you the knowledge of dealing with other people. But what do you feel with Saturn on your sun too? That's probably very intense.
Yeah, that's a good question. Like, as terms of like the aqua season right now, I feel like a little bit. I'm feeling myself a little bit more, if I could say that. And yeah, like, and as terms of like other people, uh, I've noticed a lot more heads turning towards me, like just random people telling me hi, like during when I'm driving around work, because I do pest control. Yeah, just like random people just waving at me and stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And then just like the other day, yesterday, I went into Fry's and the security guard stopped me. He's like, hey man, appreciate you. God bless you. I was like, yeah, you too. He's all, appreciate that. And I just kept walking, just quick little things. I'm like, all right. I'm like, just those little things are like, all right. So I don't know if it's just my energy radiating that's making these people want to acknowledge me, or if it's just random, just I want to say hi to you. And then another thing on top of the aqua season, I feel like more people, what I'm noticing now, is that I feel like more people are more independent right now during this aqua season. Like I've always like you always know about that with Aquarians, but I feel like this season in particular, I'm noticing like more people are kind of minding their own business and doing their own thing, and I kind of like that.
And I think that's very revealing. I feel like, especially as a collective entity with a individual personality, I feel like random people just kind of seeing you is the universe's way of getting your attention. Or I don't know exactly what it means, but I feel like it means something, which is very interesting.
Right. Because it happens, like when you walk and people are gonna say hi, but it just happened like a lot this week. Like I mean, like five times within a day. I'm like, okay, so something's going up. but yeah, that's just one example. And in terms of like the energy and all that, it's I don't know if it's just aqua season, but or how all the planets are right now, but definitely things are more intense and um, definitely. I just feel the energy going up within the earth a little bit more right now.
Right. Which once again, very revealing. But thank you. So, I just wanted to get an idea of how to see this eighth house transit for you. Eighth house transits are not the easiest for me to interpret. They could be a little confusing to me, actually. So thank you, especially in Aquarius. I feel like the Aquarius ones could be, super difficult to understand sometimes. So, regardless, we want to also acknowledge that this new moon cycle is going to square Uranus, but the nodes are here now. So this is definitely going to be significant for everybody. But I do feel like you're going to come into, in a sense, whatever life changing, like the life change will be Pisces season, but I feel like you're going to come into important decisions with Saturn on your sun that in the moment might not necessarily make the most sense concerning this element of maybe certain people you meet or certain things that occur that in the moment may not necessarily mean as much until May. And now I'm having an idea of what that might look like. Investments, because this you might make some crucial investments that by May triple X or 10X. What do you feel about crypto stocks? Because like if you're not making investments, I don't want to push you to, but the eighth house is investments, so this could also be investing in friends,
Yeah.
networks.
I feel like from what you're speaking of. I think it goes more towards like the marketing in terms of the investments for me. Like I could be, investing into more courses, expanding my knowledge and whatnot. As
And
terms of crypto, I really, really want to invest more into it, but like financially right now, I can't do so. I put like $200 into Doge like last year, but that's already went down. So I really want to go into crypto because I know that it's gonna pop. Like that's just I already see it happen.
bro,
So
you are crypto. So don't ever feel like you're late to that, because you're doing the most important thing, and that's now you literally just taught me what eighth house Aquarius is. It's investing in knowledge, which can play out in education. So that's it. And that's going to be the best investment you make. So I think maybe you might get more insight in your marketing course or other courses that come through, but like this investment, this is a new cycle of investing into knowledge. But I just kind of want to know, you know what I'm saying? Uranus. Like I want to kind of figure that out with you, because this new moon is going to happen on the 31st. And once again, it's going to exactly square Uranus. So the reason why I'm let me see. Yeah, it's going to square Uranus at 12 degrees. Uranus is 10. So the reason, and this is while Saturn is on your sun. So your awareness of this is going to be very serious. This is a new cycle. So there's something you're unaware of right now that starting on that cycle is going to be new. New, maybe a new perspective of how you're investing into knowledge, or a new opportunity to invest in. And the reason why I'm just kind of keying this is important is with the nodes that are now in Taurus, whatever this is going to be more binding, as opposed to last year when it was in Gemini, where it is important, but it was still up in the air. It's going to be very real. It's going to ground everything you invest to manifest by May. So just keep that in mind. Everything that you start here will now checkpoint in May, but will complete in Leo, where you're returning on your investment. That investment of knowledge is now manifesting the courage to passionately express critically what you learned and know. But I really see this as money too. And I feel like if you don't have enough to invest in crypto like you really want to, by May, you will, if not even by March. So that's also something to keep in mind. But yeah, also because you have the Uranus square, there's a way in which you deal. So everything about the 8th and 11th house, if the second house is your resources, right, which you have destiny, I think that's a supernatural ability. You having North Node in the second means you kind of have some supernatural destiny energy, especially with you coming directly, like you hold all that knowledge of your generation from the ancient future. You're one of the celestial gods who kind of hold that space. So the second house is what you got. The more confident your second house is, the more confident you express that in the fifth house. The eighth house is other people's resources, but it's also trusting people and investing your resources. And then if the fifth house is the courage to express your value, the 11th house is the audience you're performing to. And so squares between the 8th and the 11th are tricky. They bring the most trust issues because the 11th house is the network. It's your acquaintances, it's your friends in a sense. So the 8th house is asking, what friends do I trust? The 8th house is how you deal with other people. And so Uranus in the 8th, squaring Uranus in Taurus could be tricky because this is supernaturally unconventional in a sense where the people you're dealing with are as unconventional as the energy you're bringing in. And this can just bring textbook unexpected clashes, cutting people off, drawing boundaries, but it doesn't have to be bad. It could, if anything, engender this super unconventional sense of intimacy where you're a lot people are a lot more personal with you. You know what I'm saying? So I think if anything, at Uranus square could be people kind of just waving at you, amongst other things. But I don't know exactly how to interpret this, but I do know that Uranus square Uranus new moon cycle is going to be very key. I think it's going to trigger something for you specifically that it wouldn't other people who don't have that Uranus square. And that new moon cycle is going to kick off there. Then
when is that cycle?
it's going
Or
to
which
be
one are you talking about?
the 31st in 3 days.
Oh, you're talking about this one coming up.
This way, exactly. So it starts off there, The full moon in 2 weeks from then, I think, will now complete that, and you'll start to harvest it. So if you don't notice anything from the 31st, you will notice it first a week from then, and then 2 weeks once we complete that cycle in the full moon, or harvest it, because we won't complete it until Leo season, but we'll begin to harvest it in 2 weeks. So just something to keep in mind. I think because your sun is there, you'll be aware of it immediately, though. And Saturn on your sun will be a decision you're making with this new cycle that'll immediately start to manifest. So I think that's one of the most significant transits you're facing. I wanted to say that because once we move forward from Leo season and you're manifesting those returns on investment from the knowledge you had, a lot of stuff accelerating, Jupiter is getting ready by September and October to retrograde back into Pisces. Okay. And with that retrograde, it's very key because what that illustrates is now reevaluative notions of how you're going to really attack the game plan of your career success based on the career success you've already manifested. Because once we hit Leo season, it is going to be trining Jupiter in your 10th. That's manifesting an initial career success to the point where it has to retrograde back and Jupiter return. You're going to get 2 Jupiter returns, maybe 3, into, no, 2 Jupiter returns. So it's going to retrograde 28 and then go back 29, which is going to evolve. What's the best way to see this? I like to see this as like you're learning about marketing from like May to like August. You're applying like maybe the first few chapters to it and you see success. But then it's going to retrograde and you're going to finish the marketing course. And then it's going to go back into Aries and you're now applying the full marketing course with the complete knowledge. That's kind of the vision I see with that. And so by August, you're already manifesting results from that, if not beforehand.
Nice. Sounds like an eventful year.
Oh, yeah. And let's see, by August, we know that Mars and Venus are going to be in Leo and Gemini. So the retrograde we're going to have in Gemini with Mars isn't going to happen until like October, November. Actually, it's not going to happen until end of October. So this is where literally like the very last day of October. So by the time we step to October 31st, Jupiter is 29 degrees Pisces, retrograding with Neptune 22 degrees. And the north node is going to be dangerously close to Uranus, preparing for that full moon, which is going to be key. In fact, if we even speak on that full moon, because it's with Gemini, Mars retrograde in Gemini is going to be very tricky because in your 12th house, you don't really have to know what to do, but it's square the Neptune. You may feel confused. Here's the cheat code. You have all this alien aqua energy, so you will know what's going on. It's just the type of knowing where even if everything around you doesn't reflect that, you still know, and you just want to trust that. But personally, 12th house Mars retrograde does have the opportunity to be confusing as hell, square Neptune, because this is going to be this is a transit like this is reevaluating everything that you thought you can do and realizing you can accomplish way more than possible. So now you literally have to rework the mindset around how you live your lifestyle, applying this complete change and transcendence here in the 12th house of how you take action, which to me reeks of superpower mastery, because you've already awakened them. And then you're going to awake the next level of energy with Pluto, like the rest of the decade. But this is like now stepping into superpower mastery, where this mastery of, this course you're taking and also how you apply this to what you do is completely changing with this retrograde a whole lot of how you even release unconscious habits. But you want to be mindful here, because if you feel lethargic, if you feel not motivated to do much, it's because you want to surrender to inaction. Mars coming out of Gemini and into Cancer will facilitate a much more proper or practical understanding and use of what steps to move forward in, what steps to take. It's not like you won't know what to do, but because there's so much reevaluation to here as well, and Jupiter is kind of transitioning out of its old cycle, that's what's going to influence primarily, more than ever, if anything, a lot of how we perceive these things, as well as how you'll be in a position like never before, um, to just connect realistically, and not just connect, but because at this stage in Scorpio season, we're getting ready to now start your 10th house. The last half of 2022 is going to facilitate taking everything you have laid the tracks towards on the left side of your chart and now integrate, synthesize, and come back around to dealing with other people. Except now Saturn is getting ready to leave Aquarius. And to speak a little bit about Saturn in your ninth, all the like in a short 4 months from now, because now we're finally almost at February. By the time we step into May, you're going through some of the quickest evolution of your philosophy and beliefs with a Jupiter return. So this is you getting ready for a huge blowout, like a huge like a huge evolution, a huge breakthrough. And so everything that Jupiter has expanded, Saturn's going to come through and solidify over the next 2 years, from 2023 to 2025. With Neptune, it's just going to add more authority over everything you've evolved and learned, and add so much more strength and stability to these opportunities. You may even be traveling for work around here after you've established certain elements of your firm. But this is very important because by the time we come out of Scorpio season, which will now manifest like that full moon eclipse with Uranus here, is going to release and step you into this new cycle of transforming any self-employed ability to manifest this natural wealth, and of course understand the receptivity of who supports you into how that leads what you do in gaining more of that support. Because everything that unlocks with this eclipse, Scorpio season, will lead into a full-on lifestyle change, Sagittarius season, which we want to be mindful of, because Sagittarius season is where we're going to see Jupiter go direct on your Jupiter return. And get ready to go back into Aries. Pivotal period, because you're coming back around to transform and change your whole lifestyle again, but relative to this evolution of your philosophy. So whereas last year you were aligning your lifestyle relative to a new way to deal with people, now you're aligning your lifestyle relative to higher beliefs. The way you live your life will reflect this higher education you've come into, and really just a whole new philosophy that was solidified this March, completed this September, and integrated in your lifestyle this December. So important, because Mars is still going to be retrograde. And so that opposition to Mars retrograde is going to align how to change your lifestyle completely. And the way you're living your life by then is totally different, probably because you're making more money or because you've made obsolete the way you do things, especially in light of new technology and the technological rollouts of 2022, 3, and 4, which will just blow everyone's mind and people don't even see coming. Okay, that being said, now Jupiter's direct, and by the time we step into next month, Jupiter is in Aries, coming into Capricorn season. And by the time we step into January, well, look at that, Mars is direct. So this is how gangster the stars are. Mars is going direct when Jupiter goes into Aries, its ruling sign, or the ruling planet, whatever. But it's during Capricorn season on Pluto in Cap, which is your 7th house. So you're going to be moving forward with this Mars direct as you are transforming relationships at the end of the year relative to this new success you're stepping into. Because now it's not retrograde into Pisces. You're taking everything you've learned from 2022, and now this is you really applying it to your career. This is you really stepping into that success. And this is the road and journey to solidifying your legacy in a nutshell. because Jupiter will evolve at 2023, and then 2025, Saturn will begin its return. That'll complete like 2027. And this is just going to be you building that kingdom. So in a nutshell, I really want to see 2022 as the transition period of just getting you there. It's going to evolve you to the next level of how to see everything so that you can take action and operate on a higher individual level. Did you have any questions?
Yeah. Oh, I had one. I feel like I had this question like last month when just like the state of the world and whatnot, and I always had this question pop up in my mind. So like obviously when the pandemic and all this bullshit hit, like it stopped a lot of shit, and you know, so like one part of me is like I want to go hard and hit the ground running and do all the successful shit and all the shit that I'm destined to do. But there's another part of me is like the world's about to fucking end. Is it even worth it? So like, how do you balance that? Because I know you probably have a sense of that too as well, and what keeps you motivated to really strive for that, even though you got all this fuck shit going around the world with all these governments trying to fuck us over.
Oh no, that's a good question. I see that as a testing influence because it's just to make sure that external reality doesn't impact your internal world. For you, the way you want to see it, because the way I see it is going to be different the way you see it. Because I'm Pluto Scorpio, you're Pluto Sag. The way you want to see it is the world around you is literally dying. It's dead. It's being destroyed. Okay, so that once it's destroyed, you specifically have the karma to create the new world on the ashes of this dump truck that we call a society.
Okay. So like it's meant to fucking go to shit, but we're supposed to build it back up and
lead. And that's what people understand. The new generation is going to build the new concepts, but it's in such an unconventional way, no one's going to see it coming. So it's inevitable. Like this whole thing of people wanting to bring stuff back to normal is denial. Like the shit is over. It doesn't mean that it's gonna all end in this weird fashion. It just means we're stepping into a whole new cycle. But like it's a good question you asked because you're Saturn Aries. So you're going to feel more of the mounting pressure to be a leader. You're an individual leader. And out of everyone in the Saturn, Aries, Pluto, Sag, you're one of the upper echelon celestial kings that are here to guide this new generation and all of us. So that's something to keep in mind. You want to let us pass you the torch. All you need to focus on is what you're doing. Because your karma is individual. Like us, we have collective karma. That's why I said for us it's different because we actually have to pay attention to what's happening in the world because we're going to play our part in destroying it. But you have to focus on your individual karma, your individual skills, because what you individually bring as contribution to the world is going to lead us all. And that's gangster, bro. I don't know what else to say. That's super gangster.
No, that's a great answer. That makes sense for sure. That resonated.
No, you're straight. So I'm gonna send you this recording. Please don't hesitate to shoot me emails if you have any questions, because what's gonna happen is as this unfolds throughout the year, this will kind of make greater sense. So feel free to listen to this at least 3 to 7 times throughout the year. And yeah, you stay blessed as always, and I hope to keep in touch with you.
Yeah, I appreciate your time, and yeah, it definitely gave me a lot of knowledge and insight about this year and how it's going to play out in the future too. So I never paid for a sidekick. You're the first sidekick I paid for, and I think there's a reason why. Like that's it's pretty dope. Like I said it before. I'm gonna say it again. I appreciate your knowledge, bro, because it's definitely helped me out a lot. I still got friends that are like, "Oh, astrology's stupid," but I feel in the future, it's going to be more presentable, and people are going to be like way more attuned to, what these stars and planets say.
Amen. It's no different from how they did psychology. So it'll kind of be like that. But other than that, I'm gonna send this to you right now, and you have a blessed weekend.
All right, you too, man. Appreciate it. Thank you again.
All right, and best of luck to you with your marketing course. I think you're gonna enjoy it way more than you expect.
Oh, awesome! I look forward to that. All right, and yeah, thank you again, and awesome live the other day too. and I look forward to your Trident talks in the future as well.
I'm gonna do one tonight. So yeah, Godspeed.
There you go. There you go. All right. One more question. Are you still smoking, or are you stopped, or what's going on there?
Yo, that's so crazy. That's so crazy. I literally stopped 2 days ago. I began my tolerance break. So I haven't quit smoking, but I'm just not gonna be smoking every day like I used to. I'm just gonna
I guess
fast.
that's good, because I was gonna ask in the beginning, let's smoke a bowl together, but since you stopped, I don't want to peer pressure you.
Here's the thing.
That's why.
No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. So like, I'm just gonna not smoke it so it's out my system. But if like someone offers me a bowl, I can smoke it. I can smoke a joint if someone does like that. Like that's totally not a problem. It's just I'm not gonna be buying it every day. I was buying it every day, so I'm just gonna take a tolerance break.
Yeah, I need to work on that too. Not gonna.
I feel you, bro.
Spend a lot of money.
It's hard for air signs, especially not to, because this isn't our dimension. So like, we got to get high somehow. But other than that, you stay blessed, bro. Godspeed, and yeah.
Yeah. Appreciate it.